Did you know there is a real-life city that was buried under the sea and had all its inhabitants perish without a trace? And no, we're not talking about the mythical city of Atlantis. Apart from the lost mythical city of Atlantis, many ancient civilizations of the world have been lost to time. Well, when you consider that the Earth is more than 4 billion years old, it shouldn't come as a surprise that some ancient cities might have existed long before man started evolving. Some of these ancient cities have been discovered. Others are still yet to be discovered. In this video, we will be exploring a number of them. Many of these cities have an extremely fascinating and intriguing history. Trust me, you wouldn't want to miss knowing about any of them. So make sure you stay till the end of this video. Also, feel free to subscribe and browse through our channel. I'm sure you'd find other interesting and educating content that will catch your attention. So, without further ado, here are 7 of the lost, legendary cities of the world. Number 1. Machu Picchu in Peru. Machu Picchu, which means Old Peak, is an ancient mountain city that is more than 500 years old. It was built for an Inca emperor and was in existence for about 80 years before it was abandoned after the Spanish conquistadors arrived. Although another theory claims that most of its inhabitants might have died from smallpox they contracted from travelers. It was discovered in the early 1900s by a historian who was on the look for another lost city. With its stunning and dramatic settings that have remained untouched by human influence, it is no wonder why it was once voted as one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Number 2. The Great Zimbabwe. We can't talk about legendary lost cities of the world without mentioning the Great Zimbabwe. The Great Zimbabwe was said to be the capital of one of the great medieval kingdoms. However, it is not still yet known which kingdom it was the capital of. The construction of the Great Zimbabwe took almost 6 centuries, and was in fact still not completed as at the time it was abandoned. It is believed that the Great Zimbabwe served as a royal palace to a local monarch, and was constructed with stones of incredible sizes with no mortar to join them. Even though the Great Zimbabwe has been abandoned for a long time, some of its stone walls of about 11 feet still stand tall today. This is a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Shonas, who are believed to be the builders of the city. The Great tag in the name is used to differentiate the site from other numerous ruins around Zimbabwe, Highveld, with Great Zimbabwe being the largest of them all. The stone city, which covers about 7 square kilometers and can house up to 18,000 people, has been recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Number 3. Leptus Magna. Buried under the sand for more than a millennium, Leptus Magna ruins are one of the best preserved ancient Roman cities in the Mediterranean. It now lies in the southeast of Tripoli in Libya. It was the birthplace of the Roman Emperor Septimius Severus, who greatly expanded the city after he became an emperor. It was originally built in the 7th century BC by the Phoenicians, but was then taken over by the Carthaginians some centuries later. Its susceptibility to raids, vandal attacks, as well as the Muslim invasion was what led to its abandonment. After it was abandoned, it was buried under sand for about 1,500 years. It was later rediscovered by an Italian archaeologist in the early 1920s. Ranging from amphitheaters to forums, baths, colonnaded streets, fountains, and even a great basilica, Leptus Magna has everything you would expect to see in a Roman city. And what's more, all these structures have been well preserved. And guess who we have to thank for this feat? The crunchy golden sands of Libya. Number 4. Pompeii in Italy. Pompeii is one of the most popular lost cities in the world. This is probably due to the devastating events that led to its destruction. Although the excavation process of the city made it impossible to know the details about the everyday life of its inhabitants, many of its structure were still preserved under the ash that buried them. From there, it was discovered that Pompeii boasted many fine buildings, exquisite artworks, and luxurious private houses, which indicated that the city was a wealthy one. The ancient city was abandoned in 79 AD, after the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius that left it buried under ash. It was discovered some centuries later in 1748 by a Spanish engineer. It has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Italy. Number 5. The next on the list is the lost city of Angkor. Nestled between the forest and farmlands of the Great Lakes lies the ancient ruins of Angkor. Angkor was the capital city of Khmer Empire that once ruled the majority of the large part of the southeast of Asia. The ruins contain more than 1,000 temples and are claimed to also contain the world's largest temple, the Angkor Wat. Its capture in the 1400s contributed to its abandonment, and by the 16th century, it had been abandoned. Some reports claim that Angkor was the largest pre-industrial city in the world and could have housed about 750,000 to 1 million people. With its vast and exquisitely designed temples and intricate underground water system, it has become one of the most visited tourist sites in Cambodia. The next city we will be talking about is a real-life version of the mythical city of Atlantis. Number 6. Hilk. Just like legends have it that Atlantis was lost after it was buried under the sea, Hilk, too, was submerged under the sea by an earthquake and an accompanying tsunami that happened around 373 BC. Many scientists, archaeologists, and historians had previously thought Hilk to be a mythical city. This was because it was extremely difficult to pinpoint the exact location of the ancient Greek town. However, because of multiple discoveries that pointed to its existence, some scientists were positive that the city existed, and about a millennium years later, their beliefs were proven right. Hilk was the main city and the leader of the Achaean League, an association that comprised 12 cities surrounding each other. It was a powerful cultural and religious center, and even had its own coinage. Some few days before Hilk was destroyed, history has it that all the animals and vermin in the city fled the city. It was also reported that there were sites of immune columns of fire. These columns of fire are earthquake lights and usually signified seismic activities or volcanic eruptions. In retrospect, these signs were warning signs of the destructions to come. 5 days after the animals had fled the city, the whole city sank into the earth and was totally obscured and covered by the sea. What's even more mysterious is that all of the inhabitants disappeared without a trace, and all the efforts, including a 2,000-men team to recover the bodies, proved abortive and unsuccessful. Some stories have it that this destruction was caused by Poseidon, the Greek god of storms and earthquakes. It was said that Poseidon's wrath had been incited because the people of Hilk refused to give their statue of Poseidon to the Ionian colonists. Centuries after the disaster took place, the ruins of the city could still be vividly seen. However, it is not so now, as it has been eroded by salt water. Want to hear something more interesting or creepy? Some centuries later, an earthquake followed by a tsunami occurred on the exact same spot. After the earthquake, some artillery depots that had stood on the shore also disappeared without a trace, as well as 5 villages and 65 lives. To preserve it, the Hilk ruins are now included in the list of 100 most endangered sites in the world. It is also one of the biggest targets for underwater archaeology. Research and studies are still going on it, and we, honestly, can't wait to discover what else they'll come up with. And the last one on the list, number 7, Chichen Itza. The Mayas, Aztecs, Olmecs, and Toltecs were famous for their ability to build incredible stone cities and pyramids with intricate structures. However, the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors and the war they waged on the place now known as Central America made people abandon these big and fascinating cities. The Mayans built the Chichen Itza in the 6th century. It was built beside natural sinkhole wells, which were the only source of fresh water in the area. They built many remarkable architectural pieces here, including pyramids and castles. After the Spanish conquistadors' attack, the Mayans abandoned the city. It was rediscovered in the 19th century and is currently one of the major tourist attractions in Mexico. Which of these lost cities did you find most fascinating? Tell us in the comments section below. Interested in more intriguing content like this? Then give this channel a follow and remember to put on the notification bell. Until next time!